Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Ridge is left in the dust by Brooke and Nick's romance in Naples. According to previews for Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke and Ridge's romance is upended by Nick Marone's reappearance on June 13th. Fans are raving over Brooke's new romance after seeing this startling Naples snapshot. Brooke dumps ride for Nick Marone in the astonishing reunification of Italy. When Brooke finds love in her brother's arms, Ridge's worst nightmare comes true. The Bold and the Beautiful fandom is being rocked by a shocking promotional photo that has leaked, just when we thought Brooke Logan had reached his lowest point with Ridge Forrester choose Taylor Hayes again. The chemistry between Brooke and Nick Marone is evident in this picture, which shows Brooke in what looks to be Naples, Italy, wrapped in his arms. Everything is changed by Nick's ideal timing. The timing of Nick Marone's June 13, 2025, return to Los Angeles couldn't be more important. Brooke is finally prepared to end the pattern of being Ridge's second choice after years of bouncing between him and Taylor like a ping-pong ball. According to sources, Nick's visit resurrects all of the unresolved issues from their marriage in 2006 to 2007. Do you recall Baby Jack? Their past is deeply ingrained, and it will soon come to light in the most spectacular manner imaginable. The moment? Devastating for Ridge. He's just becoming comfortable with his relationship with Taylor when his half-brother Nick, the one man who always prioritizes Brooke, shows around. Don't hesitate. No hesitancy. Just unadulterated dedication. Fans are going crazy over that picture of Italy. A picture that went viral during the show's recent taping in Naples, May 28 to 31, 2025, says 1,000 words. Nick and Brooke are supporting one another as if nothing else counts, not just standing side by side. The devastated woman who was lusting for Ridge is no longer there. This Brooke is radiant, self-assured, and prepared to welcome a future with a person who genuinely selects her. There is a great deal of disagreement among fans. Hopio Gagirl, one of the viewers, didn't hold back. It's fantastic. Ridge, you sanctimonious swine, should return to his pitiful second-choice quack. Goodbye. However, not everyone is persuaded. Jane Austen makes a good point when she says, she initially chose Nick and then acknowledged she had always wanted Ridge. Nick is incredibly foolish for falling for her falsehoods one more. The imminent repercussions. Ridge will not take this lying down, let's face it. We're all aware of the man's pattern. Only when someone else wants Brooke does he. Particularly if that someone is his own brother. The antagonism between the Marone brothers is legendary, and this new development? It adds fuel to a fire that is already raging. Taylor Hayes had better fasten her seatbelt because all of Ridge's assurances of their destiny will suddenly resurface the moment he witnesses Brooke contentedly with Nick. Have we not seen this film before? What about that scene with the ice cream that has folks talking? Even the tiniest moments between Brooke and Nick are making Ridge furious, as one ex-user wrote, I guess Ridge is not happy seeing Brooke with Nick eating ice cream #BoldandBeautiful. Is this retaliation or is it real? The crucial question is whether Brooke is indeed moving on with Nick or if this is all part of a larger plot to incite Ridge's jealousy. The history of the show points to both options. Nick has consistently been Brooke's safe haven, providing stability during Ridge's conditional love and frequent back and forth with Taylor. However, Brooke's history speaks for itself. How many times did she swear off Ridge and then immediately return to his embrace? This time, though, something feels different. Perhaps it's the setting of Naples. The way she's staring at Nick in that picture might be the cause. Or perhaps, just possibly, she's had enough. What takes place next? As June and July 2025 approach, this romantic triangle is poised to blow out. Will the Italian romance between Brooke and Nick result in a long-term relationship? Will the lady Ridge has taken for granted for decades suddenly become essential to his life? What does this mean for Taylor, who believed she had finally prevailed? There is no doubt that Nick Marone's reappearance is going to completely upend the Forrester family, not just Brooke's world. We're here for every dramatic, tragic, and surprising moment of the Marone brothers' epic battle for Brooke's heart. Will Brooke happily ever after be with a man who prioritizes her? Or will the most catastrophic recurrence of history occur? Watch out, soap opera aficionados. We've only just begun this journey. In an unexpected turn of events, the bold and the beautiful travels to sun-drenched Naples, Italy, where more than just exquisite wine and tourist attractions are on exhibit. Hearts are breaking, passions are rekindling, and Ridge Forrester is witnessing the love of his life elude him once more. Brooke Logan has discreetly left as Ridge has been preoccupied with his conflicted feelings, balancing the lingering tension between Taylor and the mounting anxiety over Steffi and Hope's drama. She accepted a last-minute invitation from none other than Nick Marone, her ex-boyfriend and a guy whose love had equaled Ridge's in intensity, in search of clarity and release from the emotional tug-of-war. An amicable invitation swiftly turned into something far more personal, and Ridge is going to receive news back in LA that will completely alter his life. Brooke and Nick spend time together under the Italian sun, remembering what they had and what they might have again. Long walks along the shore, dinners full of laughter, and confessions made by candlelight all demonstrate how much Brooke has been longing for something solid and real, something Ridge no longer provides. Ridge has taken Brooke for granted much too often, still struggling with the conflict between previous commitments and future uncertainties. What about Nick? He has changed. He is no longer the reckless sailor or the cruel businessman. Instead, he radiates a serenity that Brooke finds alluring. Their relationship is about two people rediscovering who they are away from the bustle of Los Angeles, not merely a renewed romance. Ridge learns of Brooke's vacation in the meanwhile, but he is unaware that it is not a solitary retreat. Panic strikes as soon as he finds out that Nick is with her, in Naples, of all places, where Ridge previously made Brooke a world-changing vow. Memories of their wedding there, their vows made close to the coast, and the pledges he made he would never violate come flooding back to him. However, her faith has been eroded repeatedly by Ridge's indecisiveness and his incapacity to put Brooke first. It appears like she has finally finished waiting. Not only is Ridge losing Brooke, but a man who understands how to love her firmly is taking her place. Ridge is caught off guard when pictures of Brooke and Nick grinning on a boat, sipping champagne under the stars, and even cuddling up to the famous Castel dell'Ovo appear online. He tries to convince himself that it's just a friendly vacation. But he knows better in his heart. Brooke has a distinct smile. It's cost-free. It is not encumbered. And he isn't included. He gives her a call. She doesn't respond. He sends texts. All he receives in exchange is a simple "everything is fine." Ridge recognizes for the first time that it might be too late. Brooke has already made her own decision and is no longer waiting for him to do so. Nick isn't putting any pressure on Brooke back in Naples. He's just there, showing her what life may be like without all the heartache and stress. Even if it's disguised as a familiar face, Brooke finds that kind of quiet dedication to be unfamiliar. Brooke is shocked and moved when he eventually admits that he never stopped loving her and that a part of him always thought they would find their way back to one another. Her heart is at last repairing, not merely fluttering. Left behind in Los Angeles, Ridge starts to lose his mind. He believed that he had time. Brooke will always return, he believed. Not this time, though. Furthermore, spoilers suggest that Brooke and Nick's romance in Naples may finish with a ring rather than just a kiss, so Ridge may be in for more than just grief. Will there be a proposal next? Has Ridge permanently lost her, or will he ruin their Italian bliss? Keep an eye out. A health crisis looms when Ridge breaks Taylor's heart. In Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester finds himself thinking about Brooke Logan more and more when he should only be thinking about Taylor Hayes, the woman he claims to love and lives with. A startling secret is soon revealed, though, and Ridge's attraction to Brooke becomes even more apparent. Even so, he will continue to struggle with the markings on the wall. Taylor is going to experience heartbreak. Neither this week nor the following week. I'll let you know when. We will discuss when and how Ridge harms Taylor and jeopardizes her heart. Ridge's mixed feelings, Taylor versus Brooke on Bold and the Beautiful. Ridge is currently unable to get these Brooke recollections out of his head. She is on his mind a lot. And Ridge has been constantly thinking about Brooke ever since Brooke and Eric Forrester, John McCook, came up with the Portofino spectacular plan. Ridge is reflecting on all of the wonderful times he and Brooke had together during their romance. However, I can't recall a recent instance in which he was daydreaming about Taylor and their history. In addition, Ridge appears to be torn between Taylor and Brooke. Naturally, Brooke will always hold a special place in his heart. Additionally, Ridge claims to love Taylor, but when discussing their relationship and his romantic life with others, he doesn't seem to feel the same way. Rather, Ridge is determined to remain faithful to Taylor, as if he were a Labrador or something. He has assured Brooke and Eric that he is devoted to Taylor and would not be unfaithful. That's what he says. Bold and the Beautiful, a health crisis is ahead after Ridge breaks Taylor's heart. Eric plots, Brooke paws, Bold and the Beautiful. However, Ridge has never said to his father, Brooke, or ex, stop it. Simply put, stop it. Taylor is my soulmate, and I'm in love with her. He has never said, she's my person. Ridge maintains that he has changed and that he will not be unfaithful to Taylor. But, that's not exactly a proclamation of unwavering love. Even though we haven't seen him in a lot of episodes, it makes sense that Brooke and Eric will continue to paw at him and plan against him. Except for Taylor and Steffi Forrester, played by Jacqueline McInnes Wood, Ridge is persuading everyone that he is done with Brooke. The only people who purchase it are they. Therefore, even though it's not what he really wants, Ridge is giving off the impression that he doesn't want to upset Taylor and that he wants to honor the commitment he made to her. Steffi's request, guarding Taylor's vulnerable heart. Remember that remaining loyal to Taylor entails maintaining his word to Steffi as well as to her. Recall that she had promised her father. You have to promise that you won't break Mom's heart if you're going to be with her, Steffi said to Ridge. Because Taylor's broken heart syndrome health issue was shortly after Ridge's reunion with her. Steffi does not wish to jeopardize her mother's health once more. However, we can all see where this is most likely going. When will Ridge make a decision? Timeline of Bold and the Beautiful. I will now state that Ridge will not be leaving this week, this month, or even next month. It appears more likely to be late July, late August, or early autumn. In a moment, I will explain why. For the time being, however, Steffi and Taylor are certain that Ridge is done with Brooke, loves Taylor, and is in his proper place. Ridge continues to think about Brooke, but he is either unaware of this or in denial that it is a warning sign that Brooke still has the upper hand in his emotions. Ridge is still in love with her, To be honest, the only thing that went wrong was Hope Logan and Carter Walton's clumsy coup. On Bold and the Beautiful, Taylor was ready for him with wide arms as he lost his rage and ran straight to her. Ridge can't stop thinking about Brooke, and they're growing closer ever since Steffi and Hope reconciled over Liam Spencer's, Scott Clifton, cancer. Given that Carter proposed to Hope and that Brooke wants to organize a party in the hopes that she would accept, we can expect to see Brooke and Ridge continue to grow closer this week. Other than the fact that Ridge is Carter's best buddy, I don't understand why he is even included in a conversation about organizing Hope's party. However, Brooke might be taking advantage of that to spend more time around Ridge. Taylor Hayes' Ridge Forrester is bold and beautiful. Ridge plays kind with Brooke, demonstrating boldness and beauty. Taylor is currently making an effort to get along with Brooke. She even went to the fashion show, where she made a great statement, and Taylor informed Brooke that she was impressed. And Brooke was really shaken when Taylor made it apparent that she doesn't feel threatened by her at all. I'll say that things will get much worse for Brooke before they get better for her, and then they'll get lot worse for Taylor. For the time being, Ridge will continue to reject Brooke while giving out conflicting messages everywhere, as he has been doing. However, Ridge then learns a significant secret that will, in my opinion, change his perspective initially. Ridge's world is rocked by Liam's secret illness. Taylor and Carter are both aware that Liam is dying at this moment. It will not be long until Forrester Creations becomes well known. Ridge will be shocked to learn that Liam is dying from an incurable brain tumor brought on by the disease. And Ridge might be twisted in one direction and then another by this. First, it might serve as a reminder that health is brittle and that Taylor recently experienced a significant health crisis. Ridge may therefore strengthen his devotion to Taylor in spite of his fantasies about Brooke. Ridge might even pop the question and ask her to marry him. He was sort of forcing himself to be loyal to Taylor. Nick Marone is back. Will Ridge and Brooke face new difficulties? However, there might be a second wave because Jack Wagner makes his major return as Nick Marone on Friday, June 13th, which is in roughly 13 to 14 episodes from now. According to the spoilers regarding his comeback, Brooke is devastated, at a low point, and prepared to move on. Therefore, it isn't happening, even after Liam was revealed and Ridge kept complaining about Brooke and her working extra hard to take him away from Taylor. Not anytime soon. But hold on. As a result, Nick remains present during the remote shoot that was conducted in Italy for episodes that, I believe, will air in July. Therefore, it's possible that Ridge has a realization after witnessing Brooke go on with Nick and learning about Liam's grave illness. You know what, Ridge might make a decision at that point. Life is too short. You know, I can't handle seeing Brooke with another man. He could eventually realize that being with Taylor when he wants Brooke isn't helping her. Is Nick in love with Brooke on Bold and the Beautiful? I don't think Ridge will tell Taylor his true feelings about Brooke when Liam's death is revealed. I believe he will initially go off course and move closer to Taylor rather than Brooke. That will pave the way for Nick to arrive and win Brooke over and heal her wounded heart, but Ridge will create more heartache down the road. He will realize that his fate with Brooke is genuine, in my opinion, because he will be envious of his brother Nick. Everything, including the entire Aventine keyhole. There's a chance that Taylor would send Ridge to Brooke if he tells her about his conflicted feelings, but I don't think Ridge will be self-aware enough to tell the truth. In my opinion, he will first be unyielding before losing it and crushing Taylor's aching, fragile heart, but this will happen later. And Taylor might experience another risky bout of broken heart syndrome as a result. Ridge gets real and Bold and the Beautiful? There is still a lot more to be told, but if I had my way, Dollar Bill, Don Diamant, would take over and console Taylor by telling her to get with a real man and forget the dressmaker. It will probably be late summer before Ridge comes to terms with the fact that Taylor, Rebecca Budig, is not his true mate. Now, don't be upset with me if you support Team Tridge. The plot is simply heading in this direction. Whether you like it or not, Ridge is an absolute waffle boy, and his actual personality will show. All I can pray for is that Taylor's heart doesn't splinter open once more. And I sincerely hope she realizes for once that Ridge isn't worth her time because, let's be honest, he isn't. This is destroying Taylor's character according to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Taylor Hayes' character appears to be completely destroyed by one incident. Taylor's character is being destroyed by this. She is typically a woman of class, stature, and status, but she has been reduced to a very needy person who simply cannot let go of Ridge Forrester despite the fact that he has treated her like trash on numerous occasions in the past. You would think she would have moved on with someone else by now, but she hasn't. Bring Carter Walton into the room, please. Naturally, online B&B lovers expressed their opinions on the issue in great detail on social media. I agree that she is very clingy, some people have even said in their comments. I have no idea what became of the character. It's nearly depressing. She is a world-renowned psychiatrist in her middle years who is educated and behaving like a shy schoolgirl. Christina Allen and Hunter Tylo were both different from each other but had a unique way of portraying the role of Taylor Hayes, wrote another fan of the show. What will happen with Taylor Hayes next? However, this Taylor simply feels aloof and self-centered toward both herself and those around her. Another remark said, she's obviously threatened by Brooke or else she wouldn't be standing guard all the time making sure Ridge isn't hanging out with Brooke. Is the man able to simply do his job? Even though I like my boyfriend, I wouldn't want him to spend all day with me at work. Given that she is a prominent psychiatrist, why does she never show up for work and instead spend all of her time at her boyfriend's workplace, which is a company she does not work for? Ridge is treating Hope like a victim of bullying. We now know the source of it for his daughter Steffi. Naturally, Ridge Forrester from The Bold and the Beautiful is the subject of our discussion because he is unable to quit being a bully to Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Ridge's behavior is bullying Hope. It's true that Hope and Carter's takeover of Forrester Creations didn't go as expected. Indeed, Hope may have had more sexual encounters than the typical woman in this made-up metropolis of Los Angeles, but it doesn't make her any less of a person. However, Ridge continues to harass Hope and make her feel like the worst person in the world. Steffi and Thomas Forrester are both his offspring, and he is likewise behaving as if they have never committed any heinous crimes themselves. The internet has a lot to say about the direction of this plot line, as you can expect. Some even remarked, it's absurd how judgmental and self-righteous he is after everything his own son, Thomas, did, or he himself did in his own past. However, that is the Forrester method. They only know sanctimony and hypocrisy. Ridge should calm down. Ridge is the worst, wrote another B&B enthusiast. I wouldn't be being so arrogant and critical of others if my son had purposefully concealed information about a newborn child being abducted and staged a phony CPS call under my wife's name in an effort to ruin our marriage. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge is behaving bullying Hope. This man has slept with his father's wife, his brother's wife, and his other brother's wife, and was cheating with Quinn on Eric, was another comment that was made. However, he isn't as heavily criticized for his sexual orientation on this program or in fandom as Brooke is. And then has the audacity to criticize Hope for not getting married after just one kiss.